Okay, see this question. A solid ball of mass m and radius r spinning with angular velocity omega falls on a rough horizontal slab of mass m with rough upper surface, coefficient of friction mu, and smooth lower surface. Immediately after the collision, the normal component of velocity of the ball remains half of its value just before collision, and it stops spinning. Find the velocity of the sphere in horizontal direction immediately after the impact. Okay. So, after the collision, what is happening? After the collision, the ball has a speed v by 2 upwards, okay, and no rotation. The omega becomes 0. It will have some velocity along horizontal v1, and the plate will have some velocity in the backward direction v2. Now there are two ways to solve this question. One is using the impulse and the other is using angular momentum conservation. So let's see both the methods one by one. So we use the first method. For the first method, we look at the impulses. Okay, let's draw the system again. We take this system with us over here. Okay, now let's look at the impulses on the two bodies. So first of all, obviously when they are colliding, there will be a normal force. The normal force will be creating a the normal force will be very large, but for a very short duration. So we will get a normal impulse. Let's call it Jn. We get a normal impulse Jn. Okay, and since there's a normal impulse, there will be a frictional impulse. Why? Because friction is equal to mu times normal force. Okay, so integration f dt will be equal to mu times integration n dt. So this will be a frictional impulse, and here we get mu times normal impulse. This is frictional impulse and this is normal impulse. So mu will be multiplied with normal impulse to obtain the frictional impulse. Okay, so the frictional impulse will be acting in which direction? The bottommost point of the sphere is trying to go backwards, and therefore the friction on that point will act forward, Jf, and in reaction we will have Jf on the plank backwards. So this is my FBD. Now I just need to apply the equations for momentum change. So for the ball along y axis, Jn is equal to final momentum is upwards, mv by 2. Mass of the ball is small m, right? Yeah. Minus initial momentum is minus mv. So we get this to be equal to 3 mv by 2. Okay. So the frictional impulse will be Jf will be mu J n. So that is equal to mu times 3 mv by 2. Okay. Now there's another thing that will be happening. For the ball had initially angular velocity. The ball had initially angular velocity omega naught. Correct. Right. Initially angular velocity omega naught, and the friction is creating angular impulse in opposite direction. The frictional impulse will create angular impulse in opposite direction, and the ball stops spinning. Right. That's what it says. So for the ball's rotation, what do we have? The frictional angular impulse. Okay, so Jf multiplied by radius of the ball. Okay, Jf multiplied by radius of the ball is the angular impulse, and this will be equal to 2 by 5 mr square omega. Why? Because this is equal to change in angular momentum. Okay, final angular momentum is 0. This is the initial angular momentum of the spinning ball about center of mass. Okay, so from here we obtain that Jf, let's put the value of Jf itself also. So Jf is mu times 3 mv by 2. This is equal to 2 by 5 mr omega. Okay, now according to question, r omega is equal to 5. Okay, r omega is equal to 5. So this is equal to 2m. So that means we obtain that v will be equal to 4 divided by 3 mu. Okay, so now we can solve for the velocity of ball along x-axis. Okay, so along horizontal the ball is experiencing an impulse Jf, and initially the ball had zero momentum along x-axis. Finally it will have momentum mv1. So that's it. Therefore, the ball along x-axis, Jf will be equal to mv1. Jf is what? Mu into 3mv by 2. So 3 by 2 m times mu v, that is equal to mv1. M gets cancelled out. And mu v is equal to what from here? Mu v is 4 by 3. So 3 by 2 times 4 by 3 is equal to v1. So we get v1 will be equal to 2 meter per second. Okay. So this is how we solve this question using impulse. Now let's solve this question using angular momentum. Sorry, momentum, angular momentum conservation. So now we have to try method 2. In method 2, we have to choose a point about which we can conserve angular momentum. So one thing we know that the normal forces are acting along this line. Along this line, the normal forces are acting, right? And the friction force is acting along this line. So we have to choose a point where the angular momentum will be zero. And that is possible when these normal and frictional forces will create zero torque. So that can happen if you take the plate to be thin. Okay, even if you take the plate to be thick, doesn't matter. Uh, yeah, it does matter. Okay, assume the plate to be thin. So this point over here, just below the plate on the ground, will be a suitable point for conserving angular momentum, assuming the plate to be thin. The plate is very thin, negligible thickness. Okay, so then we can solve this easily. So what is our initial angular momentum? So initial angular momentum will be uh, let's say that clockwise angular momentum is negative. Okay, clockwise angular momentum is negative. You apply it along negative z axis. Okay, so about this point, uh, this will be equal to 2 by 5 m r square omega with a minus sign. This is actually omega, not uh, m. Okay, so initial angular momentum will be minus 2 by 5 mr square. Correct. And there is no linear momentum involved because the velocity is directly passing through the point. So m r cross v will be 0. Okay. Now what about the final angular momentum? So during this final angular momentum, we have to look at the condition when the sphere is still in contact with the plate, or it has just left contact with the plate. Okay, it has just left contact with the plate. So the distance between the point and the center of the sphere will be r. So lf will be what? lf will be lf will be mass of center, m into velocity of center mass v1 into r. So minus m v1 r. And because of v by 2, there will be no angular momentum because v by 2 is passing through the reference point, right? And plus the sphere has no omega. So this is the only angular momentum we have for the sphere. Now you just equate them. You just equate them. Initial angular momentum equal to final angular momentum. So what do you get? So 2 by 5 m r square omega equal to m v1 r. So r will cancel out, m will cancel out. So v1 equal to 2 by 5 omega. 2 by 5 omega r. Sorry. Okay. Now r omega is given to be 5. R omega is given to be 5. So v1 is equal to, that's it, 2, because they will cancel out. Okay. So 2 meter per second. This will be the answer. So we found the same answer using two different methods. Okay.